Welcome to the Explainer. So, have you noticed lately that every single time you fill up your car with petrol, or check the price of a new smartphone, or maybe try to plan a trip abroad, things just feel, well, significantly more expensive? Yeah, you're definitely not imagining things. Today, we're going to break down the exact global mechanics behind this. And look, my goal here is just to create some real economic awareness for you, using simple English. No politics, absolutely no religion, no confusing financial jargon, just a clear, detailed, and simple explanation of how global money actually works. Okay, let's dive right into our four-step roadmap for today. First, the value of money. Second, why the rupee falls. Third, the good and bad impact. And fourth, how to fix it. So, back to that burning question that's literally hitting your wallet right now. Why are everyday things getting so incredibly expensive? Well, the answer isn't just local inflation. It's actually this invisible global force. It's the falling value of the Indian rupee against the US dollar. But what does a falling currency actually mean for your daily life? Section 1. The value of money. All right, think of currencies just like physical tokens. Let's use a super simple village analogy here. Imagine one village produces and trades exclusively in apples, and a neighboring village trades only in oranges. If the apple village wants oranges, they have to exchange their tokens, right? Now, if suddenly everyone wants oranges, but there are very few of them to go around, well, the orange shop owner can suddenly ask for 5 or 6 apples for just one single orange. It's just basic supply and demand. And in our massive global village, the dollar and the rupee are exactly those tokens. If the demand for the dollar goes up, you've got to hand over way more rupees just to get a single dollar. And that brings us to a massive number, 96. We've recently seen the rupee hit the 96 mark to a single US dollar. This huge number isn't just some random market glitch. It's a direct visual representation of that supply and demand imbalance we just talked about. Right now, there is just a massive, massive demand for dollars out there and a really limited supply, which is pushing the cost of $1 higher and higher. Section 2. Why the rupee falls. So imagine India's economy is a giant water tank. The water sloshing around inside, those are our dollar reserves. Dollars enter the tank when we export IT services or, when Indians living abroad send money back home. But dollars drain out of the tank when we buy things like crude oil, gold, or when foreign investors pack up and take their money out. And right now, the simple math is that dollars are draining out of our tank much, much faster than they're flowing in. Let's break this down step by step. India imports about 90% of its crude oil, right? And globally, oil is bought using dollars, always. So when global conflicts disrupt supply chains, oil prices naturally jump, recently shooting from around $70 to over $110 a barrel. Now, because India still desperately needs that oil just to keep the entire country running, we have to spend significantly more dollars to buy it. We trade more rupees to get those extra dollars, which obviously spikes dollar demand, and boom, instantly drops the value of the rupee. Now, I really want to reassure you here. This is not exclusively an Indian problem. Global pressures are hitting absolutely everyone right now. Look at this data. In early 2026, the Indian rupee depreciated by about 6.5%. But check out the rest of the region. Indonesia dropped 4.6%, the Philippines 4.0%, and South Korea 3.0%. The strong dollar is basically acting like a wrecking ball worldwide. However, India has definitely been hit just a little bit harder than its neighbors. So why is that? Well, it comes down to deeper structural pressures. It's not just about oil. Indians import literally billions in gold every single year. On top of that, foreign investors have pulled roughly $40 billion out of Indian markets recently, mostly to invest in high-interest U.S. bonds. We're also seeing this massive global shift where money is rotating heavily toward artificial intelligence and semiconductors, areas where places like China and Taiwan really excel, which kind of leaves traditional IT service hubs slightly behind. Combine all of that with delayed market adjustments that cause people to panic buy fuel, and you've got immense pressure on the currency. Section 3. The good and bad impact. Let's be real, the negative hit is tough. A falling currency acts like a brutal, invisible tax on all of us. It makes petrol more expensive, which immediately raises the transport cost of pretty much all goods, leading to widespread general inflation. Imported electronics, laptops and TVs, they become significantly pricier. And for students studying abroad, wow, their tuition fees and living costs just skyrocket overnight, simply because you suddenly need way more rupees to buy the exact same amount of dollars. But actually, hold on. There is a flip side here. A weak rupee isn't universally bad for everyone. There's a famous saying, exporters smile when the rupee weakens. Think about massive Indian IT giants or local manufacturing exporters. If they sell software or physical goods to the US and earn, say, $1 million, a weaker rupee means that exact same $1 million converts into far more rupees than it did just last year. So it actually boosts their profits in local currency. Pretty wild, right?
Section 4. How to fix it.
Okay, so how do we fix this? The first line of defense is the Reserve Bank of India, the RBI. They're actively selling about $1 billion a day from their own reserves into the market to artificially supply dollars, basically trying to cool down the panic and prevent the rupee from crashing to that dreaded 100 mark. But experts pretty much agree that hitting 100 is really just a psychological barrier. Whether it's 99 or 101, what absolutely matters most for the overall economy is controlling inflation and protecting jobs. The RBI's intervention, it's really just a short-term band-aid. The real lasting fix actually requires citizen action to plug the leaks in our economic water tank. And it's incredibly practical stuff too. If we consciously buy locally manufactured goods instead of imported ones, if we try to reduce unnecessary petrol consumption, and maybe temporarily pause those heavy gold purchases, we can drastically reduce our country's demand for foreign dollars. Doing this directly stabilizes the currency, right from the ground up. Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway of today's explainer. Artificial fixes and temporary pauses, well, they really only buy us time. A country's true long-term power doesn't come from a central bank's reserves. It comes from manufacturing, energy independence, and technological innovation. So the defining question for the future is simply this. Will we build our strength by producing goods and AI technology for the world, or are we going to just keep paying a massive premium to buy it from everyone else?